More areas have been escalated to alert level 3 as the health department reports increasing COVID-19 cases. Numbers are back to Delta surge levels with over 20,000 infections logged today. A social media post by one doctor in Camarines Sur has now gone viral. The post showed 2,000 pesos worth of special risk allowance paid for a 6-month duty. Presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos skipped today's preliminary conference on his disqualification cases. The former senator is reportedly in isolation after being exposed to COVID-19 positive individuals. National Artist for Literature Sionil has passed away at the age of 97. Focused and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sionil. More cities and provinces are under alert level 3 until January 15. The heightened restriction level will be implemented starting Sunday in Cagayan, in Bataan, Pampanga, Zambales, and Batangas. Several cities, including Baguio City, Iloilo City, and Naga City, will also be under the heightened alert level. Economic managers expect losses of about 3 billion pesos per week in the NCR Plus areas that have shifted to alert level 3. Despite these losses, the Development Budget Coordination Committee, or DBCC, sees this as a temporary setback. They said this is a necessary adjustment amid the threat of the Omicron COVID variant. The committee is also confident that the country is in a better position to manage other possible surges in cases as more people get vaccinated. Some health workers have again expressed dismay over the meager risk or special risk allowance that they received for COVID duty. Marian Enriquez with the report.
Despite risking their lives during the pandemic, healthcare workers are dismayed over the meager special risk allowances they received. Among them is Dr. Beng Rivera Reyes in Camarines Sur, who only got around 2,000 pesos worth of SRA in her 6 months of duty. She still considers herself lucky, as some of her colleagues only received 300 to 600 pesos, while others received none. Dr. Beng said the amount of SRA they received may have been computed based on the days that they were exposed to COVID-positive patients and not for the whole duration of their duty. Medical frontliners have time and again appealed that all of them should receive special risk allowances. But for now, they're only entitled to a 5,000 peso SRA. Even the president himself finds this amount too measly.
They should be given more. You take into account the possibility of danger. They themselves will get because of they have to go near and they have to treat those people. I will increase, hindi ko pa masabi magkano.
But the Filipino Nurses United notes that most healthcare workers do not receive any benefits.
Marami pa rin sa aming mga kasamahan ang hindi nakakatanggap o kulang ang natatanggap. Kung kaya't last quarter of last year, di ba, kinalampag namin ang Department of Health upang itulak na ibigay agad-agaran ang mga utang pa ng ating gobyerno sa ating mga health workers.
Another problem is that more and more medical workers are getting sick, resulting to a lack of manpower in hospitals.
Almost mga 30 to 50% ang nababawas sa manpower nila sa ospital. Kaya ang isa sa mga panawagan ng ating mga nurses ay magkaroon ng augmentation o pagdagdag.
For his part, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III assures health workers that hospitals from other regions can augment the much-needed manpower in Metro Manila. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
Several government offices have been closed after more personnel contracted COVID-19. House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco has extended the lockdown at the House of Representatives until January 16. Regular work at the lower house will resume on January 17. However, only 20% of each office's personnel will be allowed to come in. The Senate will also be under lockdown from January 10 to 16 after 46 staff members tested positive for COVID-19. 175 employees are also under quarantine. The Senate will also be closed tomorrow and on January 15th for disinfection. And likewise, the Foreign Affairs Department is also shutting down frontline operations for 1 week. Secretary Teddy Locsin said that a number of staff working at their consular offices and temporary off-site passport venues are calling in sick. The preliminary conference for the disqualification cases against Bongbong Marcos pushed through despite his absence. Greg Gregorio with the story.
The preliminary conference for 3 disqualification cases against Bongbong Marcos was delayed for an hour. The reason, Marcos himself was a no-show due to sickness.
It's Senator Marcos Jr.
Manifested earlier, Your Honor, he is not feeling well and he cannot join in today's video
He
conference.
is sick.
This infuriated Comelec 1st Division Presiding Commissioner Rowena Guanzon, who was expecting him on Zoom at least. Recalled that the cases separately filed by Ilagan et al., Akbayan et al., and Abubakar Mangelen were all raffled to the 1st Division.
Why don't you ask your client to go on Zoom? Even if it's on isolation, you can have a laptop.
His absence nearly cost him the chance to defend himself or present evidence against all the allegations.
You know the consequence under the rules? It will be submitted for decision without his evidence.
But Guanzon asked his camp to simply show a medical certificate instead. The division proceeded with the stipulation and admission of issues and marking of exhibits as evidence. Among the issues discussed was Marcos's 1995 conviction for tax evasion and non-filing of income tax returns from 1982 to 1985. The Court of Appeals ruling was also highlighted, but it only affirmed the conviction on non-filing of ITRs, not on tax evasion. Marcos's camp also confirmed the conviction but defended him against disqualification.
Admissions that they made, I think works for us. And like I said, it's part of the records naman.
Naniniwala kami sa legal processes natin, naniniwala kami sa rule of law, naniniwala kami sa integrity ng ating mga institutions.
At the latter part of proceedings, Bongbong's camp presented the medical certificate from his physician stating that the former senator was exposed to at least 2 COVID-19 patients. His doctor said Marcos is now experiencing symptoms like fever, body malaise, and sore throat. The division gave the parties 48 hours to submit their respective memoranda before the division decides on the matter. Mangelen's petition, meanwhile, has been submitted for resolution due to non-appearance of the petitioner or his counsel. Aside from these, Marcos is also facing another disqualification case filed by Salandanan et al., which has been raffled to the 2nd Division. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The IATF has shortened the quarantine period for fully vaccinated healthcare workers in order to ensure manpower as COVID-19 cases continue to surge. Fully vaccinated medical workers who are close contacts of COVID-positive cases may undergo quarantine for only 5 days. The unemployment rate for November 2021 dropped to 6.5%. That is still lower than October's 7.4%. It is also the lowest jobless rate since the start of the pandemic. National Artist for Literature Sionil passed away on Thursday evening. He was 97. According to his family, Jose died in his sleep at the Makati Medical Center, where he was supposed to undergo an angioplasty. He is known as one of the most widely read Filipino authors in the English language, and best known for his Rosales Saga novels. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sionil. We are One News.